Thank you for joining us today. Today we're joined by Ahmad Nayef. Ahmad is a refugee support coordinator for Rethink Rebuild in Manchester. Ahmad's going to talk us through how it was growing up in Syria and why he had to flee the country. Ahmad, just to read this, can you outline to us what your experience was of living in Syria and growing up there, and what were the reasons that you did have to flee the country?
Yeah, my family belong to a family who has suffered from the Syria regime long time ago, since 1980s, and this pushed us as all of my family member to fled out of Syria in early 2000. That was all it's about political situation where the Syria regime decided to send thousands of Syrians to prison and another thousand of Syrians to death. And so the moment we found ourselves able to flee out of Syria, we fled in 2003. And after that, but we keep visiting Syria once a while, and we always, every year, we witness another decrease in civil rights and freedom of speech, and till 2011, when the Syrian revolution started, and that made a huge crisis for the Syrian people. Millions of Syrian people forced to fled out of Syria. Some of them were lucky to reach UK. My family, one of these lucky families. But we are always worried about the people who were left over in Syria, about their situation. They are subject to death in any moment. Even the family who fled out of Syria, now they are in the camps in Lebanon, Jordan, and neighborhood countries. We are always concerned about those families, about their very bad circumstances they are living in, and we aim that this crisis end very soon with a good resolution which can satisfy all the Syrian people.
Yeah, I think we all hope there is an end to the issues that are taking place, but at the minute there seems to be no end to the refugee crisis, and it's heartbreaking to see the conditions that people are faced with each day. Can you just tell us, what sort of conditions people are faced with if they don't flee the country and they actually they actually stay there?
Yeah, unfortunately, some people in the West believe that the refugees who flee out of Syria, they are looking for a better system where they can enjoy unemployment with good benefits, where this is not the reason exactly. People who fled out of Syria, they are running away from huge brutal system which bombard them by air forces, shelling them. They are subject to death, to poverty. They are subject to be detained at any moment. People of Syria, they decided to stay in Syria till the last moment, where they failed to provide safety for their children, and then they decided to move out of Syria just to survive. It's just looking for a place which is safe for them and for their children. This is the main reason why they are move out of Syria. If they still in Syria, they will be subject to this unsafety condition, and this they will be subject to be killed or detained at any moment.
And obviously the Rethink Rebuild community group in Manchester, it's doing inspirational work. I've heard a lot from people who are so thankful for the services provided. Can you just explain what the aims of the group are, and sort of what people come into the group, what they can expect to?
When this organization started back 4 years back, it meant to support the Syrian cause in within the British environment, within British media and British politics. But since the Syrian crisis lasted for now almost 7 years, they figure out that they have a big challenge because of the thousands of Syrian refugees arrived to UK. So there is a change in the strategy of this of the organization. They decided to work with these refugees, those Syrians who reach UK, help them to integrate in this society, because we have the advantage of knowing the background, the culture of the Syrian people, so we can help better in familiarizing the environment, get them integrated, bring them to be more active in the new society they are living in here in Britain.
And obviously with the Christmas period now coming up, a time of goodwill for residents here. Just for people who may be considering donating some goods, to refugees overseas, but they're not entirely sure how it's going to help, can you just explain to us, if we do decide to donate people here, how much that would actually help people?
The Syrian crisis made a huge demand for aid and help in terms of education, health, donation for clothes, for households, and charity organization has a lot of outlets where you can reach them. You can reach them to donate your clothes, your shoes, your good stuff to, and they will send it to refugees back in Syria or refugees who are in Greece. There are different organizations. We work closely with one organization named Syria Relief. So they run 56 schools inside Syria. So they collect money and they spend it to schools inside Syria, so to help the children to stay in schooling system, because the area where there is no, almost 40% of the Syrian lands has no government service like education and health, and only the civil society organization can provide such services by the generous donation coming from society around the world.
Thanks for that, Ahmed. That's been very, very helpful, and we do hope that as many people as possible do donate goods, not just over Christmas, but for the whole year ahead. But that's been very, very insightful and actually quite heartbreaking just to hear of the experiences of growing up in Syria as well. Thank you.
Thank you.